Hey everyone, welcome back to the Continent Podcast, and I'm Joyce.
Jasmine.
And Joe here.
So, we'll be talking a little bit about Kikuyu and the English language, and hopefully, you guys can enjoy. So, just to start us off, some icebreakers. I'll ask both of you, what language did you grow up speaking at home, and has that changed over time? Jasmine, maybe tell us like
Good
what
question.
language did you grow up speaking? Has that changed over time? Like how has that been?
Is this the icebreaker or the first question?
Well, whatever you like to call it.
Anyways, growing up here, background, I was born in Kenya, then I came to the U.S. around the age of 4. So I was told when I first came to the U.S., I only knew Swahili.
Yeah.
I was like, nataka uji, nataka uji,
Yeah.
mami ako wapi?
Mm.
Then next you know, boom, public schools happened.
Yeah.
And next you know, twang, grew a branch here and there, and I
Yeah.
spoke English for the rest of my life. So, started off with Swahili.
Yeah.
Then I grew up speaking English, church, place, and everywhere I go, living here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even English was also spoken in the home
Yeah.
more.
And why do you think like like how you were speaking Swahili, but when you came here you started speaking English more? Why do you think that happened? Like,
I mean,
is there a way that could have, like, maybe you or like your parents would have encouraged you to still speak Swahili and English? Or
so I mean, it was up to my parents because as parents, they're the ones who they decide what to teach. But I guess when you come here, a lot of immigrant parents they want their kids to do well with English and be well in school. So a lot of them, really emphasize speaking English.
yeah.
And sometimes maybe some of them are just better or not so good at keeping the native language or speaking to the kids.
Yeah.
Or maybe I think it's because maybe I didn't want to speak the native language, to be honest. That's another story for another day.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to speak the native language as much. I was just interested in English only. Growing up, I really was kind of, kind of ashamed to be Kenyan growing up, like, as a kid
Yeah.
in public schools. This is another story, but I think for myself, I really was interested in English only.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, not that my parents were not interested in speaking Swahili to me, because they did a bit with relatives coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
But me, I was like, no. I saw English as what I wanted to learn about. So
And would that have maybe come from you seeing like other students maybe in school talking it more, or like were you ashamed of knowing a different language, or what?
So, growing up, and it's something I think other immigrant kids who born abroad and once they came here, we
Yeah.
kind of go through like this low-key identity crisis. Anybody else watching this kind of gone through that identity crisis during the first young, first years of our life, because we didn't want to be associated with like being African or being Kenyan.
Yeah.
So we did everything we could to hide that our parents are African parents.
Yeah.
And we ate ugali because we wanted to eat pizza only because pizza was cool. That's what your friends at church and school ate.
Yeah.
And when you hit the more mature age of valuing and being appreciative of your roots,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of regret what you kind of did, but you were too young. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I wish I desired to learn more and practice it more, but I didn't.
Okay, now I guess we also want to hear from Joe, like how his has been. Like, did you grow up like speaking Kikuyu or English, or what language did you grow up speaking?
Okay, let me first say that I'm very lucky
Yeah.
because when you're young, you don't realize how important it is to have a culture.
Yeah.
That's very important, but it's something that people don't get to know when they're young, like Jasmine says.
Yeah.
But I'm very lucky. I grew up in Kenya, so I grew up speaking Maasai. Let me say the introduction, the language that I was introduced to. Okay, fine. My parents used to speak Kikuyu,
Yeah.
but I grew up with the Maasais because of my dad's side. They had some kind of a Maasai thing, and he went to live there with his relatives, other relatives.
Okay.
So I grew up speaking Maasai. That's what I found because I was predominantly in a Maasai neighborhood, like,
Yeah.
or like I grew up with the Maasai's only. I didn't know any other language, so we used to speak Maasai. And those days we used to have vernacular lessons in school. We were introduced those days. We used to do everything. The vernacular language was Maasai. So I came, I appreciate that so much. But I came much later. My dad had to move us from there so that we could learn to speak better Kikuyu. So again, we moved. So that's how I ended up speaking. I could speak Masai,
Yeah.
speak Swahili, and speak Kikuyu. And plus so many other small tribes that I interacted with, and I got to know one or two here and there.
Example?
Hamjambo nyote, that is Swahili.
Yeah.
Murega nyote, that is Kikuyu.
Yes.
And Asoba Pogi,
And that's Masayam?
that's Masai.
Okay.
Yes, which other one do you want? German?
Yeah. I know some bit of
Speaking
German.
Mercedes. Speaking Mercedes. Speaking BMW.
Hey, Mercedes, Guten Tag.
Hey.
And Guten Morgen. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have grown up like speaking my native, which is very very important because that is who you are. Your
Yeah.
culture is who you are, and there's no way you can never, no matter how much English you speak or we learn English and yes, you can speak English, but you cannot become an Englishman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll always be yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that is one thing that we need to teach young people to be
Uh-huh.
proud of who they are and their culture. Like Jasmine says, right now she's like even wanting to learn more and more of her culture because you have to have a belonging. So that is something that young people also need to be told when they're growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to also piggyback on that,
Yeah.
do you think that the dominance of English language in schools and workplaces has shaped how young Kenyans communicate today now that you grew up in Kenya?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
How?
tend to actually they I can say our kids growing up right now.
Yeah.
Actually, even most of them they can't even be able to speak local languages, which is in my own words I can say it's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a shame. You can speak another man's language, but you can't speak your own.
Yeah, I've actually had that, and some
Yeah.
people, like mostly the people who live in town,
Yeah.
they know how to speak English, but if you ask them to speak Swahili
Yeah.
or Kikuyu or
Yeah.
like any of their native language, let's say Luo, Luya,
Yeah.
they don't even know a word in their native language, which I feel is very, we should do something about that.
That is, yeah, which is a very misleading factor right now. I can say it's very misleading.
Yeah.
And it's the best time for parents to take charge.
Yeah.
And make sure their kids can speak their native languages.
Yeah.
Because I've interacted, I'm lucky to be around here. I've interacted with a lot of people from different cultures and different countries. And you find if you go meet Chinese kids, they speak Mandarin really well. If you go meet Latinos, they speak their Spanish very well. Their kids, they speak their languages. But for us, in a way, I can say for us, having interacted with most of us here,
Yeah.
their kids cannot even say a word in Swahili or in Kikuyu.
Yeah.
And that is sorry. And then they realize the kids don't know that we are the parents, we are the ones who are supposed to guide them. They don't realize it until they are mature. That's when they are struggling now to learn words. Oh, I want to learn Swahili. Why you do? And they'll be complaining. I've interacted with some that are complaining.
Yeah.
You guys didn't teach us our language.
Yeah, that's
Why?
yeah.
Yeah, which is a very sorry thing. But so the best thing is to realize the mistake that has been there
Yeah.
and see how we can correct it.
Yeah.
And
And
make sure they speak their language, and so that they can have a belonging.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they can be able to have a belonging. Jasmine can go to Kenya. I'm so happy about Jasmine because she can travel to Kenya and speak Swahili.
yeah, and also to add on
She
to
has
that.
learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. As much as parents need to encourage their kids to also learn Swahili, English, their native language,
Yeah.
kids also need to take part in encouraging themselves to also do it. Because when you're mature enough to do things and
Yep.
you know things are happening in your life, you are aware of what is happening.
Yeah.
Like, let me use for example, Jasmine has been doing good, like learning Swahili. She's in
Yep.
the few steps of learning Swahili, and she's been doing a great job learning.
Yeah.
And as much as the parents will encourage you or they should take part in it, at some point people should also like be interested enough to
Yeah.
also learn.
Yeah, what I feel about that
Yeah.
is that they need to know how important it is to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people here who want to belong somewhere because, in as much as I can speak English, but I don't. It's not my language.
Yeah.
It's a language that I'm using to learn. It's a language that I can communicate, and I'm proud to have known English. Also, I can speak English and I can express myself. I don't have to be perfect, because again, like I can tell young people, speaking English or speaking any other language is not a sign of or a measure of your intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be intelligent. The Chinese don't learn in English; they learn in Chinese.
Yeah.
They Spanish. They are doing all kind of inventions. So then they are learning in their own languages. The Russians don't learn in English. They learn in their own Russian. So any language is not uh, uh, doesn't show how or show your intelligence or you how. Even if I'm so fluent in Kikuyu, it doesn't mean that I'm intelligent than somebody else who is speaking Luo. It's just your language.
Yeah.
So all those languages can be used to teach
Type of
kids.
code, Python, cool, whatever, as long as
Yep.
you understand each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it when it comes to that. So
Yeah. And I also wanted to maybe touch a little bit more about the diaspora.
yeah,
Do you think diaspora experiences, like living in the USA, for example, both of you live in the USA, make people more or less connected to their language? I think I want us to dig deeper on you as someone who has lived in Kenya most of their life and then come to the USA.
yeah.
And Jasmine, maybe you can touch on, does living in the diaspora and interacting with people who are from Kenya, how does that make you feel connected to Swahili or maybe Kikuyu?
Okay. Oh, we start with Jasmine.
We can start with you
Oh,
now that
yeah. I think interacting with people
Yeah.
who like Jasmine, the way she interacts with people who are from Kenya, that's a good thing because she can be able to learn one or two things from. Every day when she comes, she can learn a word, and I'm happy about her because anytime I've interacted with her, she speaks Swahili, and she's not afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And when she speaks, we can always tell her, oh, no, okay, put the words like this or phrase the sentence like this, if that's what it means,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a good thing to interact with people
Yeah.
because that's where you belong. And I know she deep inside of her, she can tell you she really want to belong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I belong because everybody in this world, even if you come from Russia, you come from Europe, people want to belong to their communities
Yeah.
because that's who they are.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you personally, do you feel like you're connected to the language? Like, do you have people you speak to in maybe Swahili, Kikuyu,
Yes,
English?
I do. Yes, I do.
And
Actually,
how does that make you feel? Like,
I feel so proud whenever I go somewhere and speak my Swahili.
yeah.
And whenever I go, people will try and ask me, what language is that? No, it's
Yeah.
from East Africa. Which language? And people want to learn your language. Just like they are so amazed because also you learn their language, you can speak their language. And some of them will ask me to teach them my language, which I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after all, it's about communication.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, about the diaspora, you asked if those in the diaspora, do we feel more connected or disconnected to our language?
The experiences like living in the USA, does it make you feel more connected or less connected to your language?
Well, I think it depends on the type of diasporian person you are. Because I feel there's two types. There's ones that they come here, they don't want to be associated with anyone or anything related to their roots. So, yeah, I don't think they'll be speaking their language anytime soon unless they send money or send money home or talk to someone online. Or you're the diaspora, like, you try to find your community from your same culture.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll talk and you'll eat and talk the same
Yeah.
with them. Of course, the subjects might be different,
Yeah.
like, oh, my shift, gotta go on shift today, or tomorrow I have to drop the kids off at school or daycare. The subjects are going to be different, but the language will be the same,
Yeah.
So that depends on the type of diasporan you are.
Yeah.
If you want to be connected, you will find your people, and I feel like it'd be a great thing if you can speak your language with them.
Yeah.
So that's what it depends on.
Yeah, I would say from my experience, My experience is when I first moved to the USA,
Don't
I used to think a lot. I don't know if this relates to you guys. I feel like I used to think a lot in my first language, Kikuyu and Swahili. And then the more I lived in the USA, because I want to assimilate to whatever's happening,
Yeah.
I find myself these days thinking more in English, if that's something. Like even when sometimes when I wake up, my first thought is not speak Kikuyu or Swahili; it's speak English.
You like used to dream in Swahili?
I feel like I used to dream at least a few dreams I remember. I feel like I used to dream in Swahili
Actually, let
and
me-
Kikuyu.
Never experienced that, so
That's a
Yeah.
good topic because
Yeah, and someone actually asked me that. Like
when you come
what
down
do you
here,
think?
when you come down here, even speaking,
Yeah.
actually, whenever somebody talks to you, you think in your own language,
And
then
then
you used to
translate it.
try to translate that.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes you find yourself doing something we call direct translation, and then
and-
using the wrong English
And
words.
Kenyans are
They love
very,
that.
very,
They love
very
that.
guilty of that. Yeah.
Depending on their language, you translate it with the maybe the words that actually don't even maybe make a lot of sense in English. But anyways, well, because we learned in English way from below, so at least we can be able, you can think, and then you can be able to translate it in English and put the right words.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And about dreaming, I don't know what language I dream it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Maybe
about.
Jasmine will tell us how she
How do you
dreams.
dream? Have you ever dreamt in Swahili?
no, me I dream. No, me I dream because in my dreams people are talking or conversing.
Yeah.
So if I know a lot of American people, if the American people are in my dream, they'll be speaking English.
Yeah.
If it's a Kenyan person in my dream who usually speaks Swahili, they'll
Yeah.
be speaking Swahili in my dream. So it depends who's
Yeah,
in my
okay.
dream. That day.
Interesting.
Depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but do you especially Jasmine, this is for you. Do you think speaking English of I know you mentioned a little bit about how you felt like wanting to assimilate with the culture here or speaking in English. Do you feel learning English over Kikuyu or Swahili is a choice right now, like right now, or pressure to learn it because everyone around you is talking it?
To learn English,
To learn Swahili.
if it's a pressure to learn Swahili.
Yeah, or is it something you decided on your own? You know what? I want to learn Swahili. I want to go back to my roots and I want to be able to converse with Kenyans or anyone who speaks Swahili.
Yes, because I don't want to be asked by the matatu driver or something. Oh, Nando up, and I just look,
No,
you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's my choice to be more intentional with learning everything about it, even the slang, even the new. Every year is a version
Yeah.
that comes out, like GTA. You know, there's
Yeah.
a new version. Twang,
yeah, he comes.
Shang.
Yeah, Sheng is always he's always
Zimanize,
always
this,
have new
what?
words.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to learn be updated. I want to update my software. Why not?
Yeah,
You
and-
know, long ago we used to like police. We used to call police karao in our days.
Carao.
Yeah.
These days, I think they call them sansei.
Yeah.
They have
it's
it is-
evolving every time.
Evolving every time.
Yeah.
So sometimes you go there and you'll be floating. Probably the young people speaking, we can't tell. But
Yeah, especially these
Yeah.
Gen Zs and is it Gen Alpha?
oh, the
They're
Gen
coming
Alphas,
up
they're
with so
coming
many
with,
new
with
words.
a lot of stuff.
English
Yeah.
is good still because it connects like the whole world. It's still
Yeah.
the most popular language. But
Yeah.
then like
Well,
your code when it when you come to family and your people, like it's also good to have like something of your
Yeah.
own.
And one
Yeah.
thing also I can tell young people, you can, like, especially our own Kenyans, let me tell them, you can be fluent in Swahili because I've seen a lot of people in Kenya. People can speak Swahili like fluently,
yeah.
and they can speak for 10 minutes in Swahili without putting an English word,
Yeah.
which is not a good thing. I can tell them even if fluency in Swahili is better because it's your language.
Yeah. Or even some people who
If
speak
I
Kikuyu.
if I speak bad English, I don't care and I don't mind too much because it's a language that I'm learning. It's somebody else's language that I'm learning,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. If I make a mistake or if I can express myself in a certain way, that's still okay. It's still fine. I'm still okay with that. I've seen actually when I was in where in high school, in college, I used to see very brilliant guys, so like they could top in the classes, but when you listen to their English is bad.
Yeah.
That didn't make them like do well in mathematics, chemistry, physics, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the English language, you see them struggling.
Yeah.
But I remember I was good in the languages. I was very good in languages. But I was not the best in sciences, so, okay, I tried.
Yeah.
But I know languages I was the best because I was really interested in learning the languages.
Yeah.
So that's what I can say about
Yeah.
such stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard you mention about sometimes you might not know how to express yourself in English because you're trying to communicate with people here.
Yeah.
And I had someone say something. I learned a language to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
But you did not learn my language. Whenever you come, you don't learn my language to be
Yeah.
able to communicate with me when I'm in Kenya.
Yeah.
So they need to be patient with us.
Exactly.
And
Very
they need
good.
to also learn how we talk so that they are able to also understand us. Because there are also
Exactly.
people
Yeah.
who you don't have to go the extra mile for them to understand you.
Well, I really have met a lot of people here,
Yeah.
especially those who have traveled. They never have any problem adjusting to accent.
Yeah.
They're really good at it. They can tell what you're saying. But when you meet somebody who has never traveled, somebody who has never thought that there's another country other than where he is at,
Yeah.
those are the people that say, "Oh, you have an accent."
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
fine, I have an
especially
accent.
that, or you have an accent. Even
It's a
Americans
nice
have
thing.
an accent,
Yeah.
but
Even them, when you
they
go to
have the
Arkansas,
American accent.
yeah, I was going. I've moved around all the states. They have different accents.
Yeah.
You go to Arkansas, it's different. You go to Tennessee, it's different. Like they have different accents,
Yeah.
and which is a good thing. I seriously used to love to learn the accent. Whenever I go to like Tennessee, I listen to how they're speaking.
Yes.
I go to Arkansas. I go to North Dakota. I like it's beautiful. And like languages, they are a beautiful thing. It's something that should be appreciated
Yeah.
world over.
Yeah.
Like I'm happy to hear how Hispanics speak English. I love it. I love it, and I don't want them to speak any better. I want how they are put their accent. I want it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just finish with a few remarks.
Yeah.
Maybe each one of you can give like something to what what you would tell people to about Kikuyu, Swahili, English, just something small.
Let's start with the ladies first, Jasmine, so that I can steal your answer.
There are blank number of languages known in the world. Put the answer in the comment. Thank you.
Yes, you had that.
Languages. You said we talk about.
Something you want to live with people, like
Mark.
maybe someone who's
Yeah.
trying to learn Swahili,
Yeah.
English, Kikuyu,
it's amazing to
their
learn.
native language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing to learn another language. It's very important to learn. Actually, even if you don't want to learn the little, like us Africans, we have so many languages.
Yeah.
You don't want to learn all those. Just learn Swahili.
Yeah.
You'll be good in East Africa. You'll be good in Rwanda. You'll be good in Uganda. You'll be good in Tanzania. You'll be good in all those. You'll be good in all those East African countries, and probably even in Congo. You'll be good, like say in East Africa. You'll be good. Just learn Swahili. It's
Yeah.
important to know another language. Even for us, that's why we can at least we can speak English, which is a widely spoken language. And I'm happy because wherever you go in the world, at least you'll find somebody who can. Even if it's a country that doesn't speak English,
Yeah.
but at least you'll find somebody who you can communicate to.
Yes.
So English is one language that I can say it's very important. If you don't know English, please go learn English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the end of our podcast, and as you've learned,
Yeah.
all languages,
Yeah.
Are good.
Subscribe to.
and
Continent.
also as Jasmine left, comment on that. Let us know
How
how
many
many
Do you
languages.
think how many languages do you think are known?
Yes, and also please don't forget to like and subscribe.
And share.
Thank you.
Thank you.